Hello everyone, now let us discuss another nematode, that is Strongyloides stercoralis, and it is also known as the threadworm. So we'll discuss the various disease caused by it, how the transmission occur, how we diagnose the threadworm, and what is the treatment for this threadworm. Also we'll discuss about the detail about its life cycle. So mainly disease caused by this threadworm is in GI tract, it causes the duodenitis, and in the pulmonary it causes the dry cough and hemoptysis, and in the skin we see the pruritus. The hyperinfection syndrome of the threadworm is mainly caused by the autoinfection. So hyperinfection syndrome is also occurred if the larva enters the bloodstream. So how the transmission occur? The transmission occur when the larva in the soil penetrates the skin and it enters the bloodstream. How do we diagnose the threadworm? The rabidiform larva is seen in the feces under the microscope. So there is direct visualization in the saline welt mount. How do we treatment this threadworm? We give the ivermectin or bendazoles. Now let us discuss detail about the life cycle of this threadworm. So what happens is that in the small intestine there are adult male and adult female. The adult female is embedded in the mucosa of the small intestine of the human being. So there are basically two cycles of this threadworm. One cycle occurs in the human and another cycle occurs in the soil, and both human and soil the life cycle is completed. So what happens is that the egg layout by this adult female of this Strongyloides stercoralis, and later it contains the larva. The egg that contains the larva, that is morphed into the larva, is known as rabidiform larva, and the rabidiform larva immediately released and passed out in the feces. Now let us discuss what happened inside the human. So what happens? Some of the rabidiform larva pass out in the feces, and there are the rabidiform larva morphed into the adult worm in the soil, and there is free living adult worm in the soil. But some of the larvae remained inside the stomach, and that rabidiform larva metamorphosed into the bowel to form the filiform larva. And from that filiform larva there happens the autoinfection, and it penetrates the perianal skin, and it goes to the circulation via the heart, lungs, respiratory esophagus, and it again reaches the small intestine, and the life cycle occurs when in the small intestine the rabidiform larva matures into the adult worms. It is the human cycle. And what happens is that the rabidiform larva that are passed into the feces are morphed into the adult worm in the soil. What happens? Those adult worm pass eggs in the soil, and from that eggs the rabidiform larva is formed in the soil, and from that rabidiform larva the filiform larva is formed. And the filiform larva, whenever we walk like naked foot in the soil, and if there is the rabidiform larva of this threadworm, then that filiform larva, that rabidiform larva morphed into the filiform larva, and whenever we walk the barefoot, this filiform larva penetrates the skin of the human being. So we human being are the definitive host, and the larva enters the circulation via the heart, lungs, respiratory esophagus, and it reaches the small intestine, and in the small intestine the larva matures into the adult worm, and again the adult worm lay the eggs, and again inside the eggs rabidiform larva is formed. Either it is passed in stool, or again the rabidiform larva is metamorphosed into bowel to the filiform larva, and there is autoinfection, and the life cycle in human and soil continues again and again. So this is all about the life cycle of the threadworm. We discussed about the various disease transmission, how to do diagnosis and the treatment of this threadworm. I hope you understood this topic on the Strongyloides stercoralis. Thank you.